Welcome to Timeout with the Techsters. This is head coach Brooke Storr, and today we'll visit with recent 2020 graduate Daria McCutcheon. Daria was a senior on last year's team that had its season come to an abrupt end at the CUSA Tournament in Frisco March 12th due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Daria is currently in her first year of pharmacy school at Texas Tech after earning a biology degree in May 2020 from Louisiana Tech.
Daria, it's great to see you. I just want to take this time to catch up with you and just kind of see where you are and what's going on and what these last few months, few months have turned into 5, 6, what they've been like for you and how that's everything that's transpired. And so just wanted to ask you a few questions and kind of get caught up with what you've been doing. So I guess since you graduated in May, and didn't get to walk across the stage, but got that coveted piece of paper from Louisiana Tech. Exciting day for us and obviously for you and your family. Tell us a little bit about maybe what you've been doing since that time.
Okay, so quarantine has been really weird for me right now because, when I first graduated, I wasn't really doing anything but being with my family, and I haven't had that time in a while since I started college. So it was good just to see how much my brother has grown up and seeing my sister and all of her stories since she just started college. And we have a little condo in Florida, so we spent a couple weeks out there just quarantining with our family and being able to be on the beach. So it's been really fun just like having that family time instead of just that like little 3 to 5 days we get for Christmas. But it's so weird because I haven't had that much time just to relax and be like, I don't have to worry about something tomorrow or for school or for basketball. So it's just like so much time in the day that you never thought you would have. But I love it. It was a good time, but now I'm so glad I'm not in the house anymore. I'm living on my own and I can be independent. So again.
Tell us, you mentioned time with your family. Tell us a little bit about your family was such a big part of your time here in Ruston over the last 4 years. And I think we've all, been able to see how much Dalen's grown through the years, and mom and dad. Just talk a little bit about how that family atmosphere, they were able to connect with the Tech family here in Ruston and with our program.
My mom I don't think she's ever missed a home game. She was my big supporter throughout my whole experience at Tech. My dad made everything he could. We had weird scheduling conflicts like during the week, so he could come when he didn't have work, and he spent a lot of nights driving back and forth after a game. My brother came to a lot of the games when he didn't have football or school, and my sister came before she started college. So them being able to see me grow and do what I love was awesome for me because they've always supported anything I've done, and whether they like it or not. And that's just who they are and what they've groomed me to be. So I love them for that.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit about, I know you got close to some families here in Ruston and in the community, maybe through church or on campus. Talk a little bit about that and what that meant to you, being away from your immediate family at home.
I love them. Lacey and Mr. Brad, they're awesome. They always was trying to do something for Ray's and I, either cooking, taking us to church, the boys going to their birthday parties, going to their soccer games. Richard and Ruthie, they did so much for us, and I really miss that because now it's like in grad school, it's just the kids, like the students. It's not, I'm meeting their families and getting to know them. And so like meeting all the Tech families, it's like they're just so genuine and they love you because you go to Tech and you play for the Lady Techsters, but they were so genuine in getting to know you and who you are as a person, and they really just want to see you grow. And so they still text me, they Facebook me, they're awesome. They always keep up with me, and they're just worried about me all the time. Like, how are you doing, Dee Dee? I'm like, I'm
Well, tell us a little bit about your process of finding out, your next step and what that looked like. Because I know we had tons of conversations, whether it be Coach Scott or myself with you on what the next step was, what the future looked like, just all that career winding down, what's next, kind of those conversations. And I think the one thing that always stuck out to me is that you were very diligent in trying to figure out what that was going to be. And, as a coach, you want your players to be that way. You want them to have a desire to figure out what that passion is and what that looks like moving forward. Talk a little bit about how you got to where you are now. Tell us where you are, what you're doing, and how all of that transpired for you.
So after our last game, I had no idea how to feel. I didn't know what I was going to do. I know I was talking about pharmacy throughout high school and most of college. And then I just started having conversations with myself. Do I really want to do this? Because I want to love what I do when basketball is over. I don't want to have to go to work. You know what I mean? And so I was like, Mom, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so pharmacy was always a big topic. And then I started leaning towards business. And I was asking you for help and recommendations. That took forever, the whole process. And it was just making me more anxious because the whole process was crazy with Corona. And so I wasn't hearing back from anybody right away like I wanted to. I just wanted to know what I was doing. And then I got accepted to a couple business schools. And so I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden I got an email from Texas Tech, and they were like, we're still in the interview process. We would love to interview you. How do you feel the interviews next week? I was like, oh my gosh, do I do this? So I'm talking to my mom about it, and she's like, don't block your blessings. You already have options on the table with business school. Just take it. And if you don't want it, then that's a good problem to have. And so I was like, okay. So I had the interview. It was through Zoom. So that was a little weird for them because that was their first time doing interviews with students through Zoom. And so it was like a 4-hour process. It was me and like 15 other students. And so they had a lot of like team building activities for us to do. We were listening to a lot of protocols and rules and different professors talking about the curriculum. And then I had a 45 just individual meeting with one of the professors, and he was really cool. And he said his daughter played basketball. And so I milked it. I was like, I played basketball in college. And so we just really hit it off. I don't think my interview was anything other than just basketball. And so I was very comfortable, and it went awesome. And then sure enough, 3 days later, I found out that I got accepted, and I decided to go with it. So I'm doing pharmacy school at Texas Tech for the next 4 years. And that's my plan for right now. It's going good. I started 2 weeks ago, and I love it. It's definitely very different. But
that's awesome. I think it's really cool. We've had those conversations. I know Coach Scott's talked to you about that early on in your college career with us of, being a part of a team, I think is huge. And when you're going off after you finish school, and if you're going on to, pharmacy school, med school, law school, any of those, I think you're that much more marketable, and you have that, it just adds to your resume of being able to deal with different personalities, handle stressful situations, all those things. And then hearing you talk about how your interview process went, I think it confirms that. I think, as a student athlete, handling all those things definitely gave you an advantage. How did you feel when you talked about the team building exercises that you did? How was that for you, maybe as opposed to some non-student athletes that were in the process with you? What did that feel like?
they were very shy. Something with pharmacy and medical students, not a lot of them are very sociable and know how to talk to you. And so that's why they do that, because I guess in the past they didn't do a lot of team building exercises, so they don't know how to work with other people. And so it's not my strong suit to take over conversation, but it came out of me because I was like, no one's going to say anything. Okay, I guess I'll just have my input and try to bring others along with it. And so I'm very glad that I did that, because he brought that up in my interview. He was like, I'm glad that you spoke up and got the conversation going, or y'all would have just stared at each other for 45 minutes. Like, yeah, I'm glad I did too, because that would have been very awkward. So
It took me back to those Mondays with Betsy, I'm sure.
yes. And I even told him that we did a lot of Enneagram testing and how I loved that. And I explained it to him. He's like, oh my gosh, we need to do stuff like that. I was like, yeah, just let me know and I'll call my girl Betsy.
That's awesome. No, I think it, for us, it continues to confirm those things that we talk about and how we emphasize the importance of being able to communicate, because if you can communicate in college and with your teammates and those things, you're going to be able to do the same thing, in life. And that's really cool to hear that it's already, even you who we think you're really good at communicating, you don't always feel that way. But when you had to, and when that moment, came up, you were able to step into it and fill that role pretty well there. So that's good. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Tell me a little bit about maybe what your schedule looks like right now, and how your classes at Louisiana Tech through your biology degree program, how that's prepared you for what you're seeing so far.
It's all day. It feels like a job, but I'm not getting paid. I'm paying them. It's literally an 8 to 5. And I have to like during lunch breaks, I go to my apartment, like clubhouse, and I try and get a workout in. And my classmates are like, oh my gosh, like you have time to do that? I was like, yeah, I'm not going to look at a computer screen and be in my room all day like you guys. I don't know how you do that. I would go crazy. But a lot of the classes that I'm in right now, since it's my first year, it's a review for me, because I had a lot of great classes. Even though they were hard, they really did set me up for at least my first year and first semester here at pharmacy school, because it's like a lot of the anatomy classes, cell bio classes. And so I feel very prepared. I had my first test actually last week and I did pretty good. And so it was really different, because all of our classes are in one big test at the end of every 2 weeks. And so I've never done anything like that. And so all the classes that I took for my undergrad, really, it was just like one big test. And so that was scary, but it's like a review. It was like a big review test for me. And so it's going really good right now. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
What classes, like mention some of the professors just that really challenged you here at Tech? And I know, it's cool to me to hear you say that you were prepared, that you've been challenged, but what are some of the courses in particular that you just feel like this is really good for me? I've seen this before.
Cell bio, that's a lot of my classes. And I was like, I didn't have any pharmacy classes. So everything was just strictly biology. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I know this stuff, but it's not entertaining to me. And so Dr. Campbell, the way he set up his classes, he would like apply it to what we need for medical school or whatever class that he was doing it for. And so I liked his class setup, because it makes me know that I need to be a well-rounded person. I can't just I just want to learn about medicine. And so, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So that was good, because he was really telling me about the whole big picture. And then I really loved my OChem teacher, Dr. J. He's awesome. He kept calling me Dr. McCutcheon. And so he was just blowing my head up. Gave me a lot of confidence. So I loved him.
So are your classes online, or do you do anything face-to-face?
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys. So my morning classes are all online, and then I have a couple labs, but one lab that we go in for, and it's our immunization lab, and we have to wear scrubs and everything.
I was going to say, do you have to just be like all masked up?
Have to wear a certain type of mask, and there's a whole bunch of different protocols when you go in there. but I have to start administering flu vaccine shots. So I don't like needles at all. And so when they told me that, I was like, don't nurses do that? And they're like, pharmacies are starting to do it for people and you just have to be certified. I was like, oh my gosh. So my last week was my first time administering a shot. It was just like a saline water solution, and I had to give it to my lab partner, and I was shaking. I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude.
I did good. I got it right in their deltoid. No pain.
Did you text maybe?
No, I didn't. I have to tell
you. You need to text her and tell her you did that.
I hate getting shots. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have to make this as painless for anybody I give it to. And so that's stuff you have to think about. But I have to actually give my partner a flu shot on Tuesday. So I'll let you know how that goes. I know.
That'll be fun.
When do you start interning? At what point is that in your schooling?
My second semester. So we're doing a lot of basic like training and stuff this semester. So it's not like when we get a patient in front of us, we don't know how to act. We don't know how to communicate with them. And like stuff like with shots, sometimes you can hit their bone. They don't feel it, but you can't react to it. You have to just be like, oh, push it out a little bit and then give it to them. Like I was like, you can hit bone? No, I can do that. Oh my God. So it's just stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully next semester we'll start having more like in-class stuff. But now it's just like everything's through Zoom call.
Just talk through what it meant to be a student athlete as far as your time and that type of thing and how it's prepared you for where you are now.
It definitely helped me with prioritizing what's important to do first. Now, since I just have school, I don't want to lose track of what makes me happy because I don't want to start getting just all school. Like it'll drive me crazy if I'm just like looking at a computer screen all day and then I'll get a workout in and then I'm doing more homework. And so with being a student athlete at Tech, that it reminded me of being able to do what's important. Like whatever you do, if it's important to you, you're going to do it. And so waking up for early morning practices with you guys and then knowing that I need to go to class and then I'm going to shower and then maybe we have weights and then we have to go to study hall. Like it was just like everything's boom, boom, boom. So I'm used to having that structure and knowing I need to do all this and then get a good amount of sleep. And so that's really helped me because a lot of students, they take the whole day and then they're going to sleep at 2:00 at night because they want to study later. And so I'm like, no, I'm going to get all this done now because I get most of my work done before 5:00. So I have the rest of the day just to chill, do what I want to do, and then do extra studying before the next day. And so that's really helped me.
Awesome.
You're like a grown-up.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
you're so grown up.
I'm like at that where I feel like I'm grown, but I'm really not that grown up. So it's like, it's really weird.
Yeah. When you have to start paying those bills, that's when you are a grown-up.
And my dad reminds me of that. He does.
Hey, talk through when you think back to your time at Tech, what are some of those memories that you're going to hold to? What are some of the fun moments, your favorite times, the things that just remind you of Louisiana Tech?
Definitely the girls. We celebrated everything, whether it was a good test score for anybody in any class, birthdays. I just really miss that because those were my sisters. We did everything together and you learn to like each other. There was a lot of growing pains, but I would do anything for them and they would do the same for me. And it's crazy because we still communicate every day. Kiana called me before a weight session and I got to meet some of the freshmen. And it's funny because it's the same. It's like they didn't skip a beat. They all get along. It's awesome. I miss them so much. And Ray's cooked for them, I think, the other day, and I got to meet more of them. And so I just miss that. It's crazy that I have to FaceTime them and I'm not seeing them every day.
It is weird, like just missing that part of your group. Like that's your team, that's your gang, that's who you hang with. And I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why we love coaching. I know it is for me, is that we still get to be a part of that. And you'll get that with your classmates and, just the people you're going through your program with. And then eventually, your people at your pharmacy or whatever you're working with, you'll have your little teams that way. But there is something special about that student athlete experience and being around people that are like-minded, that you may be very different, but you're all trying to reach for the same goal. And that's a pretty cool thing.
Name a basketball memory, specifically, something on the court, something like that, something that you remember and you cherish.
Something I cherish. We had a lot of great games. I think every home game was just an awesome experience, whether it was dancing in the locker room before games, Coach Brooke throwing water on us after big wins. Like, every game day was awesome. And so I would never trade that for anything. A lot of people will never experience that, and you can't explain that to them unless they actually go through it. And so my sister's going through that right now, and she's just saying, like, everything you told me, it's like, you're right. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I'm like, yeah, girl, like those are your sisters. You're going to have so much fun. And when y'all are all on the same page, it just makes it 100% more fun. And so, yeah.
That's awesome.
One of the really cool moments in our house during the quarantine was getting your phone call and you telling Brooke that you got into the pharmacy school. What was it like for you? Because you put a lot of pressure on yourself to perform academically, and there was some real uncertainty during times. What was it like to you? What did it feel like?
Like, so much weight has been lifted. I remember going to Coach Brooke and just crying, like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what's going to happen. And so when I finally got to call her and I was like, this is what I'm going to do, I got accepted. And she was just so happy for me. And so I just, like, I started crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
It still doesn't feel real until I moved into my new apartment, and I started getting, like, group me text messages from my new classmates, and they're like, you want to hang out? I'm like, oh my God, new people, like, I don't even know you. Okay.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome. I mean, I can tell you, right where I was standing in our yard, our front yard, on the sidewalk when you called, and just so excited, because I could hear the excitement and the relief in your voice. And that was really cool, because we've had a lot of conversations through the years, and just wanting you to find out what you want to do and figure that out, and just to see that become a reality. For us, we get to watch you come in as young freshmen and then grow and mature, and to see where you are now. We couldn't be more proud of who you've become and who you're still becoming, but just getting to live out that dream is really cool and special for us to see that. And we're just happy we could be a small part of watching your journey along the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Like, I didn't think basketball would be over and 4 years would just go by like that.
It goes by fast, doesn't it?
It goes by so fast. And you told me that. You do that.
Well, wait till you're 40 and it goes by way faster. It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
What advice would you give an incoming freshman? What would you tell them to do as far as part of your experience at Tech?
You get out what you put in. And so whatever you want to get out of it, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how I want to say this. that question wasn't on the sheet.
No, you're good. I think that's good.
No, that's excellent. You know, I mean, that's very true in everything in life to me. It's that deal of, and where you are, be all there, you know, be wholly committed. It's cool to me to hear you, like, to hear these stories of, like, during your interview process of you stepping up and being a voice for your group, because, you know, it's I don't know, your growth through our time here, and obviously, you know, just even how you got to Tech is a special thing for Brooke and I, and that type of thing. But, you know, it's really cool to see some of these things that you are just taking it and being yourself and really being who you are. And the thing that I'm encouraged with is that these other people in the world, that we've noticed this for you for however long we've known you about. We just think you're a natural leader. We think you're great with people. It's cool to see that reflected in your ability to connect with others and where you are now. So we're just really proud of you, really excited for you, and just thrilled that you're kind of accomplishing these things that you set out to do.
It's really neat for us to see you doing, like, just doing what you set out to do. So we're really proud of you. We love you. We miss you.
I love you guys too.